And now I'm a little bummed because I've only now hosted the second craziest Oscars of all time. This was the Hollywood version of your drunk uncle starting a fight, ruining the wedding, and then standing up and giving a long toast to the bride and groom.
Jimmy Kimmel was hesitant to speak about the famous incident of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock last year, but this year the talk show host has not only revealed his thoughts towards the incident, but also humiliated Will Smith in the process. Kimmel, who is set to host the 2023 Oscars, revealed in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter that he will firmly oppose and discourage anyone who attempts an Oscar prank. If somebody comes up on the stage and slaps me, well, I size them up, and if I'm bigger than they are, I beat the shit out of them on television. And if it's The Rock, I run it. Well, whatever I say about it, it's going to have to be great, right? Because so much has been said and there's so much focus on it. I obviously don't want to make the whole monologue about that, but it would be ridiculous not to mention it. The TV host said, in addition to this, Jimmy Kimmel has recently mocked Will Smith over the Oscars incident, but Smith is yet to respond. The 55-year-old went ahead to dedicate an entire show to share his thoughts on Will's actions, and here is some of the shade that he threw at Smith. Number 9. Jimmy Kimmel accused Will of initially laughing at Chris Rock's joke. Kimmel then proceeded to say that after Will saw Jada rolling her eyes, he pretended to be hurt and proceeded to the stage to do the violent act on Rock.
And the weirdest part was that initially Will Smith laughed at that joke.
Can't wait to see it, all right?
But then he must have looked over and noticed that Jada was not amused. He's like, uh-oh, I better do something. And boy, did he do something. I mean, in one stunning moment, the night went from Oscars so what to Oscars so what?
Number 8. Kimmel compared Will's actions to that of a drunk uncle, who starts a fight in a wedding then proceeds to give a toast to the bride and groom.
This was the Hollywood version of your drunk uncle starting a fight, ruining the wedding, and then standing up and giving a long toast to the bride and groom.
Number 7. Jimmy mocked Will by saying that he is bummed that he has now only hosted the second craziest Oscars of all time.
And now I'm a little bummed because I've only now hosted the second craziest Oscars of all time.
Number 6. Kimmel revealed that a lot of his friends had asked him what he would have done if he was on stage, to which he responded saying that he would have ran when he saw Will get off his seat.
A lot of my friends have been texting me asking what I would have done if I'd been on stage. When I would have run is what I would have done. Second I saw Will Smith get up out of his seat, I'd have been halfway to the Wetzel's Pretzels.
Number 5. Kimmel took his mockery further by saying that Will's actions before receiving an award were like a boyfriend walking out on his girlfriend, then coming back after realizing he left his keys.
I think Chris Rock and then winning the Oscar, it's like storming out of the house after breaking up with your girlfriend, then coming back in because you forgot your keys.
Number 4. Kimmel made fun of Will by saying that he was the only person who has ever apologized to the Academy before thanking it.
It was historic in that it was the first acceptance speech in which the winner apologized to the Academy before he thanked them.
He also noted that Will apologized to everyone except Chris Rock.
I like to apologize to everyone except the guy I slapped in the face. Is really what the speech was.
Number 3. Jimmy made fun of how Will finished his acceptance speech by saying he hoped the Academy would welcome him back. The talk show host proceeded to say that if the Academy does not welcome Will back, he will be waiting for them at the parking lot. While Kimmel did not elaborate what he meant by this, it is obvious that he meant Smith would do a repeat of the violent act.
Will then ended his speech by saying he hopes the Academy welcomes him back, and if they don't, he'll be waiting for them in the parking lot.
Number 2. Kimmel called out Will for attending a party and even having the time of his life after he had just attacked Chris Rock.
After the show, somber Will and Jada went home to reflect and, oh, no, wait, hold on a second. He went to a party where he got very jiggy with it. Really, really jiggy.
Number 1. During the ceremonial rolling out of the red carpet of this year's Oscars, Jimmy Kimmel joked that there won't be any physical altercations this year at the Oscars.
Is there going to be any trouble this year? Is there going to be any violence this year? And we certainly hope not. But if there is, I think the decision to go with a champagne carpet rather than a red carpet shows how confident we are that no blood will be shed.
Fans have reacted to Kimmel blasting Smith, with most of them saying that Smith deserves it. Jimmy's joke about the drunk uncle ruining the wedding then giving a long toast was the perfect analogy. One fan wrote, "The points raised here by Jimmy Kimmel was on point. What Will failed to recognize was that he himself was once a comedian. Will and Jada would have got high respect from everyone if she herself dealt with it instead." A second fan added, "Some funny stuff on the red carpet and some crazy stuff happening on stage. Chris Rock deserves much respect for keeping his cool and going on with the show. Not many people could have done that, if any." A third fan wrote, "Really appreciate Jimmy pointing out all the important and weird aspects of what went down last night. I really feel bad for everyone that won afterward and might have felt like their moment had been overshadowed by this incident. A fourth fan added, other fans went further to blame Jada for Will Smith's actions, with one fan saying, Jada Smith's abominable behavior is the dynamic that resulted in her husband's inexplicable actions at the Oscars. Some things are so abhorrent and incomprehensible, our minds cannot process or accept. My guess, when Jada publicly announced her affair with their son's friend, she broke her husband's heart and his ability to comprehend, let alone accept, the depravity of his wife. The Oscars, Chris Rock, and the public witnessed a broken man and should respond accordingly. A second fan added, I had so much respect for Jada before and now I'm just over her. How do you watch your husband do that and think it's okay? She saw him slap him. Yeah, but at least she should have stopped him from yelling. I'm so mad and I feel for their kids. This is a permanent scar on their lives for good. She's toxic, period. As much as his reactions made us cackle a bit, Jimmy Kimmel is not one to judge since he has also had his fair share of controversial moments during the Oscars. Kimmel is known for his politically charged opening monologues and prankster ways. One of his most controversial segments was the Mean Tweets segment during the 2017 Oscars, where Kimmel read out negative tweets about celebrities, including one about Donald Trump. This tweet led to a Twitter feud between the two, with Trump calling Kimmel terrible and not funny. Another notable moment during Kimmel's time as host was the infamous Best Picture mix-up during the 2017 ceremony. While La La Land was mistakenly announced as the winner instead of Moonlight, and Kimmel was criticized for not doing enough to handle the situation. However, he did address the mistake on his show after the ceremony. During the 2018 Oscars, Kimmel also made several jokes about disgraced Hollywood mogul Harvey Weinstein, who was at the center of a sexual harassment scandal. While some praised Kimmel for addressing the issue, others felt that his jokes were inappropriate and made light of a serious issue. While Kimmel hasn't talked to Smith, he has touched base with Rock and commends the comedian for keeping calm in real time. I mean, to be slapped in the face and to stay that cool is something that Chris should be proud of. He said, Chris's grandchildren, I hope, will still be proud of that when he's dead and gone. It's been almost a year since the slap heard around the world when Will Smith stormed the stage at the Oscars on March 27, 2022 to smack Chris Rock across the face on live television. The tense moment occurred after Rock made an onstage joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, during the Academy Awards ceremony. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane too? Can't wait to see it, the comedian said about her shaved head, which, unbeknownst to Rock, is caused by the actress' struggles with alopecia. Pinkett Smith rolled her eyes in response, while Smith laughed. Shortly after, the King Richard actor ran up on stage to slap Rock, who attempted to continue his banter before Smith began shouting from his seat, telling the comedian to keep his wife's name out of his mouth. So much has happened since then, but according to a source close to the comedian, Will Smith is yet to apologize to Chris on a personal level, following the release of Rock's searing Netflix special, Selective Outrage, in which he joked about watching Smith's slavery movie Emancipation just to see him get whooped. The insider said it is even more unlikely the Hollywood heavyweights will ever make up. Will did call Chris last year after the Oscars, but Chris didn't pick up. And they haven't spoken since, a source who knows both men told Page 6. Chris was open for a call until Will made his public apologies, and then all of those red table talk discussions, the insider continued, referring to Jada Pinkett Smith's Facebook Watch show, on which she once shared her hope that her husband and his one-time friend could reconcile. Smith has apologized for the incident twice via Instagram, in a written statement the day after the awards show in March 2022 and in an emotional video in July. Will's two public apologies were all about saving his own reputation, the source revealed, then continued to say Will has not apologized to Chris Rock in person, and Chris isn't expecting it. Well, a beef of this magnitude is not likely to end anytime soon, but we hope the two Hollywood stars will eventually reconcile so that everyone can move past this altercation. That's it for today's video, folks. Bye!